Hi, my name is Darrell with DBJ Fitness, and today we're going to go over a beginner foam roller routine. So we're going to go through about 5 to 6 exercises using the foam roller. It'll be kind of a follow along, so if you've got your foam roller, you can follow along with me. We're going to go through the appropriate time phrases and aspects of using the foam roller. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into this. So we're going to start. Got my foam roller here. I'm going to use a little timer. I'm going to roll each area for approximately 1 minute. And in their duration, we're going to look for tender spots, sore spots, and we're going to begin to hold them. So I'll just kind of talk you through that. So we are going to start kind of sitting on our foam roller with the foam roller just under the knees. And I'm going to start the time. We're going to start with those hamstrings. So here we go. So we're going to, our legs are extended. We'll lift ourselves up on our shoulders. Just kind of pull ourselves through. We're looking for those tender spots. Good chance you may have some tender spots on those hamstrings. If you finished a hard workout, maybe you've been out riding your bike, those hamstrings might be a little sensitive. Find that tender spot, just kind of hold, allow that to dissipate a little bit, roll it right on through. We'll just shop for that next tender spot. Generally, I find it takes about that first 20 to 30 seconds for your muscles to kind of allow the foam roller to really do its job. So that's kind of what we choose to go through in a minute. Good. So now we're going to take that one. We're going to go to the calves. Calves, you have a couple options here. And we'll probably divvy this time up a little bit, but we can do both calves at the same time. So if your calves are really highly sensitive, then it's probably worth doing them together. If they are, together, you're not feeling it's not too bad, you can tolerate a little bit more with the foam roller, then you can go ahead and single those up. So for our purpose today, I'm going to use the two legs together for a good portion of the foam rolling activity, and then you'll see me kind of switch to one leg. So if you think that that's warranted for you, then please feel free to try. So here we go. Same thing like we did the hamstrings. We've got the belly of the calves on the foam roller. We're going to lift through the upper body. We're just going to roll those calves out. Kind of pulling yourself through, swing yourself out. Take it all the way over the belly of the calf. Down right up through that Achilles. You can turn your feet in, you can turn your feet out just to help find those tender areas. Now realize this may be a little difficult on the shoulders, trying to hold yourself up like that, so rest is necessary. And as promised, I said we'd show you the single-legged calf. And we're just looking for those tender spots. It may take a couple rolls to get there. Once you find it, you kind of hold it there. And if you've found it, you can also kind of rest the shoulders a little bit, take some of that pressure off. We'll kind of give you a chance to the other side just so you have that example as well. It's a long time in here, so keep working with it. It could be kind of painful. Find those tender spots. For me, I like to kind of close the eyes and just kind of picture that kind of going away. Good. So now we're on to our next one. So we're going to go ahead and work the adductors on our next one, our next foam rolling activity. So in order to do that, we're going to assume kind of this laying down position on the floor. Spread the legs out. And we're going to use the leg closest to you, so in that case that's my right leg, so I'm going to take this foam roller and put it in perpendicular. So there's kind of a 90-degree angle here between that and my inner thigh. I want to make sure that I've got my foot turned parallel to the floor, so that I am working the adductors. And then at this point, kind of get a little bit of a plank position, lift myself up, and here we go again. Just going to kind of pull push our way through. Kind of some of that. There'll probably be a little pain in there. You're going to try to relax through it. Okay, if you have to readjust that leg. Most people notice it's a little bit more tender the closer they get to the knee. When you find that tender spot, just kind of hold it. Let the pain dissipate a little bit. Pull it through. And again. It is not necessarily to cross the joint, so be careful we don't cross the knee, just to the knee. One side, I'm using a little timer here just to keep us on track. Now we're going to switch to the other side. And you may notice from one side to the other, one may be more tender. Also may start out like you think it's more tender, or not as tender. Tender spot, let the weight of the leg rest on there, kind of help working it out. Just dissipate a little bit, roll back through, find that next tender spot. Alright, so we're making great progress. So our next one is we're going to roll out the quads. So we're going to roll out the front of the thighs on this one. Again, this one can be done with both legs. Just a little time saver here. This one generally is not too painful. It generally feels good. So we'll start kind of in this prone position. I always like to start with that foam roller more towards my knees because it's kind of my starting point. At this point here in that plank position, just pulling yourself through. Pushing yourself away. Just rolling that out. As you readjust, you can do that. Again, you're looking for those tender spots. Find those tender spots and relax. You might notice them a little bit more. Just kind of working my way and trying to find them. Okay. Whew. So we're going to compress on. Next one we're going to work on is we're going to work on the IT bands. This one can tend to be a little bit painful. So be very careful with that. If you can't make the first full minute, that's fine. Just go as long as you can tolerate, and then progress with it from there. So we're going to start in this little position like I always like to call it like we're watching TV. So if you were on the floor kind of watching TV at home, this is very similar to the position you're going to be in. We're just going to extend the bottom leg and bring that top leg over the top. Could even be in a little bit seductive stance, or pose if you wish. So at this point, that's the position we're going to assume. We're just going to do it on the foam roller. We don't want to cross the hip, so we're going to start just prior to the hip and roll the length of the thigh down to the knee, not over the knee, and not over the hip joint, or in this case the hip pointer, okay? So I'm going to get in this position here. Nice long straight position. Don't try to kind of bow it in and make it V. Try to get a good length in this position here. Put the foot right next to the roller where you'd like to start, and that becomes your kind of starting point and your ending point. Just kind of roll roll through that IT band. If you're lucky, you'll get a few rolls in there before it gets to be too much to tolerate. If you're not, you might feel the tension right away. So just kind of be easy on that. If it's too much, you can always rest your other leg on top of it. It'll take some pressure off the spot. The other option is use two rollers, but I ain't bring 2 rollers today. Good. Again, we're shopping for those tender spots. You find it, just kind of hold it there and try to relax. That's the tough part about this, is you're trying to relax the muscles as you're rolling, but when you feel like a little pressure and tension on there, or in some cases pain, it's a little hard to just relax. So do your best. You will get better, I promise, over time. Relax. We've got that one done. So now we're going to do the other side. You remember the point of emphasis is not to cross the knee and not to cross the hip. Just the area in between is what we're looking to do. Find those tender spots. Just kind of relax and hold there. Let it dissipate. As it dissipates, it won't dissipate all the way, but once it begins to be not as painful, then it's time to kind of move on. All right. So far you're doing a really great job hanging out with me. We've got about 3 more we're going to go through, so let's keep it up. So next one we're going to go for the piriformis. I'm going to turn a slight angle on this one. What we want to do in this particular case, we want to sit on the foam roller, and we're going to kind of dig into this butt cheek. In this case, the right one to start with. So in this position, we're sitting on the foam roller. We're nice and tall. We're going to kind of form this figure 4. Right leg over the left. Left leg has got a bend, kind of about a 90-degree bend in the knee. Nice flexible start. Start with that leg down. Pick the leg up. Put it over. Then lift it up. At this point, we're going to kind of rock into it or lean into it. And you know, how far you lean is going to be kind of an individual thing, but what you're going to feel like is you're getting goosed and tickled at the same time. Once you got that feeling, you're in the right spot. It's a very small roll. It's 3 inches one way, 3 inches the other. Might be a little tender. Find that tender spot just as we've done already today. Just hold it. Feel it, let it relax, let it dig in there a bit. Once it dissipates, just kind of roll it through. Probably noticed if you've not done this type of working out before, using the foam roller, that your shoulders take quite a bit of blood of the punishment here too. They kind of do a lot of work to kind of hold the body weight up. You need to have that flexibility through the shoulder, that range of motion in there. So your shoulders are beginning to fatigue a little bit. Take an appropriate rest. Just hit pause and rest as necessary. Okay, so we're going to go to the other butt cheek now. So do the proverbial turn the other cheek. Set up so it's better camera oriented. Lift up the left leg. We've got that lean into it. Good, and we're just going to roll. I tend to find it a hard day of kind of activity, and I officiate basketball and lacrosse on the weekend, so Sometimes after a long day of officiating, the foam roller really does feel good. It also serves as a good warm-up from time to time. If you're the office work or the cyclist, the weekend warrior athlete, you know, all this type of foam roller work we're doing now is going to be a great benefit for you. It gives those muscles a little TLC, and it's kind of an inexpensive massage. I love to get massages, but you know, they're not always in the budget for a great number of those in any particular time frame. So using the foam roller is kind of an inexpensive version of that, just to keep me on, keep the muscles pliable and healthy, kind of going into all the activities. Find that tender spot. There's a good one right there. All right. Next one we're going to go on is kind of the tensor fascial lata. You know, as we kind of roll, it's going to be in the neighborhood of that hip flexor that is probably more common, that the term people are more common with. So what our intent to do on this one then is to use about the first 6 or 7 inches of the roller, and we're just going to put them in the front of the hip here. So just kind of your reference points. So I know I may be a little tall here, but we're just working this particular area. If you can just visualize that, that's the area we want to lay on the foam roller. So place that kind of in position there. Start that timer because we've already got that pressure on. In a little bit of a plank position here and just kind of making that move. Okay. Kind of lean, turn your butt into a little bit, the outside of that area. Again, we're shopping for the tender spots. So not everybody's tender spot is going to be in the same place. It's not a big roll, it's a couple inches one way or the other off the center. You tend to spend a lot of time seated in your office or in any type of sitting down position. This is a good exercise to kind of help loosen that area up so we can stay good, how should I say, antagonist relationship between the hips, pelvic and glutes. I'm going to be kind right now and go ahead and switch to the other side. Then you'll notice now that the foam roller's on the other side, what the positioning looks like. So you'll see that we're using the leg that's not on the foam roller. It's kind of fully extended, again holding in plank position. And if you watch the foot, that's kind of our pivoting to create this motion and this roll from. We're looking for those tender spots. You can see that turn the hips here and shopping for that tender spot. And here's the blessing news. If you don't have any tender spots, you may not need to use the foam roller in that particular area. But before you come to that full conclusion, make sure that you've held on for about 30 seconds or so. And if at that point you're still not feeling any tender point, and you've kind of moved and manipulated the body a little bit, this scenario is probably in pretty good shape for you, and one that we probably don't need as much attention with the foam roller with. Good. Right, so we're on to our last foam roller exercise for this workout. So if you've made it this far, you've done a really good job. This next one is probably one of the tougher ones to do, just because it's an area that it definitely needs a little TLC, but doesn't get much of it. So we're going to do actually the lats. The way that this one's going to operate is we're going to go back to some of the TV watching position. Remember, we talked about that a little earlier here if you're watching TV on the floor. This is roughly that position. What we're going to do is put that foam roller basically right here. Arms outstretched. And then we're going to control how much tension we put on that foam roller with our legs. So if we kind of lift up and kind of roll through, the more tension that's there. Good. You find that tender spot and holding yourself up is a little too much, just kind of relax. Let the legs go on the ground. And just hold that position at that point. Once you're here, feel that tension. Again, we're looking to let it dissipate a little bit. It's not a very big roll. We're not going up and down the entire rib cage. It really is, you'll see the foam roller here, just a few inches to the top and a few inches below is all we're looking to do. And in fact, if you really get a good tender spot, you may not be doing much rolling here at all. It just may be a little too much to tolerate. Just hold it and relax. Just breathe through it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Take a quick peek at our time here. We're almost done on this one. On this side, I should say. Good. We're going to go hit the last side here, and then we'll be at the conclusion of this foam roller workout. At that point, once you've completed this, whatever part of it is in your routine, whether it's the warm-up component, whether it's the post component of the workout, you'll be ready to kind of move on. So, without further ado, let's get right into finishing this up. You would assume that kind of laying down position. Got the leg here. You can put the leg over the front. I kind of like it in the back. It helps me kind of keep my body rotated and then pressure on that lat for me. And I'm fine, you get. Good, there's a good tender spot. Happened to do a lot of back work the other day, so these lats they're feeling it. So if you're feeling it too, then we're on the same page. Good, starting to dissipate a little bit. I'm relaxing a little bit more as it dissipates. And if it's too much too, you can always use this hand on the foam roller just to kind of help ease that pressure. Right back on through. There's a nice tender spot on this one. I don't think I'll be doing a whole lot of moving and rolling on this one. As I kind of described earlier, right? We found that tender spot. We're just going to relax into this. See if it loosens that up for me. Good. We'll take a quick peek at the time. Oh, we're done. So, whew. I'm Darrell Morris with DBJ Fitness, and that's your foam roller, your beginning foam roller routine. I wish you luck. If you have any questions, hey, email me at Darrell. Well, you can't do it, Darrell, but go dbjfitness@gmail.com. Thanks.